Hey folks, this is Kalani. The next World of Warcraft expansion was just announced, and one of its major features is a brand new race as well as a brand new class to go alongside it. You'll be able to play as a dragon. You heard me right, a dragon wielding the fierce magical powers of all 5 Dragonflights. You'll be able to decimate your foes or support your allies in a variety of ways. We actually have quite a bit of info about these new options, so let's take a closer look at World of Warcraft's new playable dragon race and the all-new Evoker class, which has 2 specs, a range DPS spec and a healer spec. Before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. Let's start with the new playable race. They're called the Dracthyr, and for all intents and purposes, they're a dragon that stands upright, but still a dragon. You've got the scales, you've got the claws, and you've got the wings. Apparently, the Dracthyr were created by Neltharion as an experiment to combine the power of the 5 Dragonflights into one entity, the perfect soldier. You're basically the dragon avatar. When the Dragon Isles went dormant, so too did the Dracthyr until now. As the island wakes up and calls the dragons home, the Dracthyr awaken to explore their surroundings, and that's where our adventure begins. Now, even though this is a playable dragon race, it's going to work in very much the same way as Worgen, where you have a humanoid form and a dragon form. It looks and sounds like the dragon form will be the battle form, so when you enter combat, you'll probably be forced into the dragon form. That will make a bit more sense later when we look at some of the spell and ability animations, but that does mean you'll get to customize the human form and dragon form separately. Human forms seem to have a lot of options. You can have scales on your body and face, various horn styles to choose from with horn decorations. There are new jewelry options, eye options, hair color options. We even have 2-tone hairstyles. That's going to be fun to play around with. Hopefully they expand that so every race has access to 2-tone hair colors. That'll be really cool. There also seem to be new face shape options, unless that's the scales playing tricks with me, and then obviously we have plenty of colours to work with, so you're going to be able to represent whatever Dragonflight you want. Hopefully you can even mix and match to create whatever works for you. Playing around with the customization options for this race, it's going to be so fun, so I expect we'll be spending a lot more time at the barbershop. They really need to give those chaps a raise. As for the dragon form, it looks like we'll have plenty of options there too. We can see different horn styles, unique face and snout styles, eye colours, body and facial scales, cheek fins or spikes, ear lengths, tail options and jewellery with lots of colours to work with. You should be able to create a pretty unique looking dragon. It even looks like you can change your underwear. The only thing that seems to be static between all of these different shots are the wings. So maybe we won't get to customize the wings quite as much, or maybe that will come later on down the line. There is so much potential here, and I hope they just kinda go crazy with it. Now, one thing I think a lot of players would have appreciated is a build type option. All of the models that we've seen look quite lithe. There aren't really any bulky options, and there could have been thinner options too. With the dragon form being such a key point in this new race, more options is definitely going to be better. This new race will also get its very own starting area on the Dragon Isles. From the announcement, we know that the Dragon Isles will have 5 zones, and one of those zones is going to be for the Dracthyr starting location. They're also going to start at level 58, so after the introduction, you should be jumping into the Dragon Isles content along with everyone else. If you're curious, the expansion level cap was raised to 70, so you'll need to go from 58 to 70, cutting out a significant portion of the overall leveling experience. Now you may be wondering where this race fits in with the whole Horde and Alliance thing. Thankfully, there's a truce going on, and the whole Dragonflight adventure is going to be a joint effort, so when you make your Dracthyr character, you'll be able to choose which faction you want to join. Remember that we're also going to have cross-faction play by the time this expansion comes out, which could mean your faction choice plays less of a role going forward in general, but having the option for either faction is definitely nice. So that's what we know about the race and its various options, but what about the classes? What classes can we play if we decide to embrace the dragon within? Well, this is where you might get a bit disappointed. We have 0 options when it comes to classes. There is only one class that the Dracthyr can play as, and no, it's not Hunter or Warrior, it's a brand new class, the Evoker. Blizzard has decided to make this race a unique, exclusive race class combo. Dracthyrs can only be Evokers, and Evokers can only be Dracthyr. So if you want to play the new race, you have to play the new class. If you want to play the new class, you have to play the new race. You don't have any other options as of right now. Now, I do think that's pretty cool for a variety of reasons, but also disappointing at the same time. Obviously, flexibility is nice, and being able to play whatever race you want as the class you want is going to feel better, but with the Evoker being so heavily dragon-themed and focused, and with the Dracthyr being literal dragons, they have so many options for creating unique spells, effects, and animations. It could end up being amazing, and it only really works if you keep things specific. We have examples of breathing fire on your enemies, even jumping up into the air, flying overhead and using something like a deep breath from Onyxia. That's incredibly cool, but it wouldn't exactly work for a standard human or a blood elf, so I could totally see the justification behind the Evoker race lock. On the other hand, having no other classes available is a bit odd, because those same restrictions don't necessarily have to apply. Maybe they just want to keep things special for now, and they'll open up more class options later, but for now the plan is for Dracthyr and Evokers to be exclusive. An Evoker is able to tap into the power of all 5 Dragonflights, so we'll be seeing red, blue, green, bronze, and black abilities, I assume, and even some abilities that combine the powers. The Evoker specializations focus on specific Dragonflight aspects to channel power differently. They're going to have a ranged DPS spec called Devastation and a healer spec called Preservation. The ranged DPS spec focuses more on red and blue aspects, channeling the fiery power of Alex Strasser's Brood and the focused magic potential of the blue Dragonflight. The few spells and abilities that we got to see look really cool, breathing fire on enemies in a variety of ways, and they'll probably end up being a typical mage type spec. Apparently they could work somewhat like arcane mages if you believe some of the other leaks, but we'll have to wait and see how it all pans out with the new talent trees and customization options. It will be really interesting if you could focus on blue magic or red magic in the talent tree, so you're more like a red flight evoker versus a blue flight evoker and that kind of thing. For the healing spec, you'll be using more green dragon magic and bronze dragon magic. The green side will tap into the Emerald Dream, providing with various healing options, while the bronze side plays around with time, so we could see damage reversal abilities or maybe delayed damage mechanics. Anything relating to time is on the table, which could end up being very different when compared to other healers. There's definitely a lot of potential here for an exciting class with unique options. Those are the only 2 specs that Evokers will get to play with, so we're in Demon Hunter territory again with just 2 specs to choose from. Hopefully they are fleshed out enough with enough variety and options to choose from to keep things interesting, because with only 1 DPS spec to play, you don't really have any options if you want to try something new. If you want to heal, this could be a great class to play around with. Now, even though we said the Evokers tap into the magic of all 5 Dragonflights, it seems like the Black Dragonflight is left out somewhat from what we've seen and heard. The DPS spec focuses into red and blue, while the healer spec focuses into green and bronze. So where's our Black Dragonflight powers? Maybe it'll end up being more general abilities like class-wide defensives or something similar, but I feel like there is a huge missed opportunity for a tank spec. Black Dragonflight powers could be amazing as a tank spec, mixed in with some bronze for time dilation and delay, with red or green for self-heals. That could have ended up being really cool, but I guess either they didn't want to add another tank into the mix or just wanted to keep things simple for now, so no tank spec yet, but that could be an option for the future of this new class. We also know that the Evoker class will use male armor, so we're expanding the male armor class this time around, which is a very welcome change, along with the very first new ranged DPS class to be introduced to the game since launch 18 years ago. Seriously, this is our first new ranged DPS. How crazy is that? They'll be joining the Shamans and the Hunters, vying for that precious male gear. We're not too sure what weapons they're going to use yet, but it's probably a safe bet that they'll follow the typical caster route: daggers, staves, maybe maces or swords, with offhands thrown in for good measure. There is one more new feature that comes with the Evoker class, a new type of ability. They're calling it an empowered ability. Dracthyr Evokers can empower their draconic abilities through magic, charge up your attacks, and unleash them at the right moment to maximize their effects. We don't know exactly how this is going to work, or whether or not it's going to be available for other classes with new abilities. The examples we have so far are hold to deal more damage, or hold to hit additional targets. It sounds exactly like a charge and hold ability from from Lost Ark. If you're not sure how they work, basically you hold the ability down, a quick time event pops up, and if you release the button in the perfect window, your ability does something special or deals more damage or there's an extra combo. Basically hit the sweet spot and everything is better. I'm interested to see how this plays out because it's typically more interactive, requires more attention, and the payoff is usually really good for getting it right. That's satisfying. It works really well in Lost Ark, but this isn't Lost Ark and it doesn't play even remotely similar, so I'm worried about the translation over to WoW's gameplay. I'll keep an open mind and wait to see how it actually plays out in alpha, but it's good to see that the dev team is at least trying something new, bringing something new and fresh into the game. I know this feature is going to bring up accessibility concerns right from the get-go, and apparently the dev team realized that too, and they have some options planned to help with that. The implementation isn't final yet, but it's on their radar and they're going to work on it. So we're going to get a brand new race with a very special new class, a ranged DPS spec, a healer spec, some crazy dragon magic, and an entirely new type of way to cast spells. I honestly think these are some major factors that recent World of Warcraft expansions have been missing. We haven't seen a new core race in a long time, and we haven't had a new class since Legion. We've never seen a new ranged DPS before, and we haven't had a new healer since Mists of Pandaria. It's going to be incredibly exciting to see how this class and race evolve over the alpha and beta testing periods and how they look when the game finally launches. But that's all we know about the new race, the Dracthyr, and the new class, the Evokers, coming in World of Warcraft Dragonflight. What do you think from what you've seen so far? How do you feel about this new race and class being exclusive, and what do you think about their current customization options? Do you think you'll end up being a Dracthyr, or is there something about the whole setup that you just can't get behind? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to everyone who subscribed on Twitch. You can see their names floating by on screen. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss another video. Thanks for watching, folks. Good luck and have fun, and as always, I'll see you next time.